writer, author of several novels and collections of poems in Bengali. Her involvement with politics began while she was a college student in the late 1960s. From 1970 to 74, she was imprisoned for her work with the Naxalite movement in West Bengal, an experience she recounts in Killing Days Prison Memoirs. Among her other novels is Swarno Kamolet Chinhu, The Sign of the Golden Lotus. Her poetry collections include Rotno Prostorer Gan, Song of the Ancient Stones, and Dirgho Ektara, the long string instrument. She has translated the works of Amrita Pritam, Ishwar Shahani, Boidehi, and Ajit Kaur into Bengali. She has a keen interest in issues relating to the environment, women, and peace. She edits a journal named Bhumodhya Sagar, recipient of Ananda Puruskar and many other prestigious awards. Now I request Nobonita to come.
Jaya, please.
Thank you, Navanita. And I thank the Calcutta Translators Forum for inviting me here. And especially, I extend our welcome to Corina and Mandana, who have brought different cultures from different places. But I'm sure we will find many things common in spite of our belong to different spaces and cultures, so that we feel one another quite closely and clearly. And I think this is the core of translation. We want to touch this core areas of humanity which is found in all other human groups, various cultures, various spaces, even various times. Through translation, we can reach out to people not present not only in our own places, but also not in our own times only. We can stretch out to reach and bring them to our readers, people from other communities, people from our other lands, and people from other times. When I started translation at quite an very young age, I used to think that translating is only about telling stories of different languages to my own language. Now I understand that it is not only about telling stories from one language to others, telling matters, translating materials from one language to other. There is a certain politics behind the things we prefer to translate. Like me, I prefer to translate women's literature, women's writing, but not only being women's writing is enough. What kind of women I want to translate? I think all the translators, they have their personal choices, their personal lookouts, and their own philosophy directing to what we prefer to translate. That shows where we belong really, not only geographically, where we belong politically, spiritually, and idealistically. Thank you for now.
So much, Jaya. Yes. And Jaya, these words actually bring us to a very important perspective of translation, I would say. That is, why do we translate, or the politics of translation? I think this politics of translation is very important. taking these perspectives, I would like to also combine it with what Shamal Bhattacharya wants to ask, who is also an eminent translator. He says that finding words for a world in crisis, that is what the theme of this year's International Translation Day is. So, how do we find words in this world of crisis, Jaya Di? How do we find words in this world of crisis through translation, and how does translation ends up in bridging this gap? Jayadi, please.
Thank you, Navanita. About translation is meant always for bridging a gap. We don't know how much success we can reach, but the basic need or the basic craze is about reaching out to others. We always, whenever we do anything, think anything, experience an experience, we always try to pass it out to others. I think this is one of the basic human qualities, and that is why we try to translate our thoughts into words, try to translate our imaginations into paintings, and just like that, we try to translate from one language to other. A language is a carrier of thought, so we want to translate our thought to others, to convey them to my thought or our thought, and to know from them. And when I was saying about understanding of philosophy or choosing through politics, I don't mean party politics. This politics meant as philosophy, as looking at the world. So when I wrote the book on my prison experience, as Krishna told before, when this got translated and when it was published first and afterwards it got translated, and I developed a deep will to understand why was this time when we were quite young, almost in our teens, we can say, we participated in a whole nationwide upheaval. Little by little, my friends helped me and other literatures helped me a lot to understand that this was not only our country, not only India, almost half of the world was at turmoil at that time. From mid-60s to mid-70s, it was a stormy time, almost all over the world. And so many different prison memoirs have been written. So I was naturally allured to know what the other prison memoirs were like. And I was quite excited to have in my hand at least 8 prison memoirs written by women, all at the same time, almost to the dates. I started to translate one or two of them. When I translated from Baluchistan, a woman called Akhtar Baluch, she wrote about her prison days. One from Argentina, and so many others we still have with me to go and read, and you understand the whole story of that time. Corina was absolutely right that nothing more than literature, written literature, helps us to understand other people's soul, other people's time. Not the television, even not the printed media helps us that much. What literature does. So translating these other women or even reading them, only reading them through translation. Some of them were translated, others wrote in English. Reading them, it expanded my own experience about my time. When I read and translate this girl, who is exactly my age, writing from Argentina, her first memoirs called The Little School, it was such a soul-searing experience. And in this regard, I am just happy to tell Corina that my present daddy was also being translated in Spanish. So I hope someday she will also read it. But this finding your fellow people in other societies, in faraway countries, just like one of our leading poets, Shankho Ghosh, told sometimes that a poet from Mandana's land, he was being translated in Bangla. Nazim Hikmat was translated in Bangla in early 50s, when he was not even perhaps well heard in Western world, the English-speaking world. Nazim Hikmat was translated in Bangla, very language we speak, because of this skinness in political sense. So, and it is more, not only translating from other country languages, foreign languages. I will share Adita's experience. I very recently translated a book from a tribal language of our country. And this language, it is this Bhilali, this language name is Bhilali. It has no script. It is nowhere written down. So it was an oral literature, only sung. And they had their own version of our large epic Mahabharata. So it was quite difficult to translate it, quite difficult, because even the ideas, even the practices were so strange, so unknown to us. They are Indians, we are also Indians, but it was so different. A sea difference was there. And through translating this book, it was quite a large one, through translating their version of this epic, which is quite known to all the literate Indians in one form, when we found it in a tribal language, it was such a different picture of this Mahabharata. It's such a huge different picture of their society, the way they looked at the rest of the Indian society. It was so different. I think I had a very different way of looking at my own country's culture. So picking up translations at my own choice, it has something to do with my beliefs. As Krishna told about me, that I love to know or deal or talk about people who don't believe in power, who don't believe in patriarchy in all its form, not only the man-woman, but also the power which devastates nature, the power who holds as a mainstream and tries to keep the minorities at bay. So when I have my hands on this type of literature, I try to translate them more. And now I try to translate only those things. The things which are either they are by women, or they are by minorities, or they are about something to do seriously with environment. I love to translate those things because those are the words I want to share with my language speakers. That's all.
That was so enriching, Jayadi. Thank you so much. Sonikadi also touched upon a bit of the importance of translating or rather documenting the oral languages, because as we know in India we have so many languages and there are only 22 registered languages with Sahitya Academy, and others talk about how do you think this translation can be brought at par with original literature, because I feel translation is a juxtaposition of both the critical and the creative faculties. Over to Jayadi, then we move to Corina.
Okay, I thought Corina should have been the first to talk because she is a guest. Anyway,
Okay.
anyway, this thought, I think it pinches all the serious translators. That translation is considered to be a work of lesser importance. And year before last year, a large team of 11 women members of German translators came, and I think Anita also there might be. We had a talk among ourselves in Sahitya Academy, and they told the same thing, that translators don't get the importance they should have. But then for them, I don't know if it can be replicated in all the other countries, but they, for themselves, they took a very strong step. They found some women publishers, and they let us know that now they have set up panels of women translators, mainly because they were fighting not only translators, for women translators. But in our country, we already have the Sahitya Academy and the National Book Trust that have multi-language translation organizations. They publish large number of books. Though very recently their pace is relaxed, their pace is very slow rather. But then we have other organizations coming up, like this Kolkata Translators Forum. As because I told, I don't believe in big things to be the more powerful. I believe that, like nature's own way, good things often start a small way. Small is beautiful, and small is more sustainable. So, bodies like this Kolkata Translators Forum, I think there are other smaller publications coming up.
Not really, Jayadi.
Can you hear me now? No? You can?
Yes.
So I am going to conclude, because we have very small time left now, that here lies the importance of groups like Kolkata Translators Forum to come up with smaller effects, small but many, that sustains. And I'm sure if we join hands, if we go on doing our works with love, because nothing is stronger than love. So if we go really with love and intensity, we shall little by little earn the same platform of translators and translator lovers as we have the large platform of creative writers also. Because translation and creative writing are not things at war. They are just substituting one another. With this, I convey my deep love to the friends who are present here and Kolkata Translators Forum, and particularly to the two nice friends we have today. Thanks to Kolkata Translators Forum. And I invite not only Mandana, also to Corina to come to Shantiniketan or to Bengal again and contact us so that we can be together. Thank you, Navanita. Thank you from my part.